get some more of that. Hello everyone, it's Slothgod Magic back with another MTG Arena video. Been a long time since I uploaded anything, again, just because that's how it is, and I know my mic isn't the best, that's just how it is, and my screen capture probably isn't the best, and that's just how it fucking is. So, today we're going to be taking a look at an Explorer deck, which is a take on a historic deck that I made a long time ago before Explorer was even a thing. I call it Tron because it's just mono green ramp, and it does a lot of things that Tron in Modern wants to do, which is just cast really big Planeswalkers and then really big spells and eventually try to control the pace of the game by, either overrunning your opponent with stuff that they can't deal with fast enough or locking them out in some really strange way. So one of the biggest things that this deck had a problem with when I made it in Historic is that we didn't have Elvish Mystic. Llanowar Elves is always fine as a one-mana mana dork, and then we would try to use like Arboreal Grazer or Gilded Goose as our second. Elvish Mystic, just much better than both of those. We don't need a land in hand for Arboreal Grazer, and we don't need to have food for Gilded Goose. We just have 2 of these one-mana mana dorks, so 8 copies of that total makes it very consistent to get one on turn 1. Which then makes it very consistent to get a 3-mana ramp spell on turn 2, which would be Cultivate, which is the better one, or Llanowar Visionary. Llanowar Visionary is fine, but it can get removed, just like the 2 1-mana mana dorks can, so it's just not as consistent to hit our 5-drops as Cultivate is. As for our 5-drops, we have 2 copies of Elder Gargaroth, which is just not a hard-to-deal-with threat. People can kill it, except Burn. It's very hard to deal with Burn, but it's pretty much something that just needs to be answered right away, which is what we want. Nissa, Who Shakes the World, is the most important 5-drop and kind of the glue that holds the whole deck together, because once we go 1-drop into 3-drop into Nissa, we have access to so much mana that basically the rest of our deck is open to us as playable. So Nissa would be something that you find in your opening hand and you say, if I could even have a chance of hitting this, I'm probably keeping this hand. Wrenn and 7, not the best thing to hit on turn 3 once you've gone 1-drop, 3-drop, 5-drop, just because the token that it makes is not going to be very big. Usually you're only going to have 3 or 4 lands when you drop a Wrenn and 7 on turn 3. If you've cultivated on turn 2, it will be 4. But it's still pretty good. It finds us more lands, so it actually keeps us consistently ramping, kind of. It's not really ramp, but it's card advantage in the way that we're getting our lands back. And I've actually never hit an ult, but the ult seems like it could be pretty powerful. As for other parts of the deck, Bond of Flourishing, pretty good cantrip for green. Just anticipates for a permanent. The whole deck is pretty much permanents, except for the Bonds of Flourishing, the Cultivates, and our Turn Timber Symbiosis. Even though Turn Timber Symbiosis is a land on one side, it does not count it as a land when you're looking at it in your deck. So if you cast a Bond of Flourishing and hit Turn Timber Symbiosis, you are not getting that land. We'll talk about Turn Timber Symbiosis real quick. There's not that many creatures in the deck, but it's just something that you can put in your land slot. It's completely consequence free, and it allows you to grab something and make it a little bit bigger. So if we are running completely dry on things to do, we can always hit an Elvish Mystic, a Llanowar Elves, a Llanowar Visionary, or hopefully an Elder Gargaroth with a Turn Timber Symbiosis. Make the small mana dorks just a little bit bigger, and that can maybe keep us alive or close out the game if we needed to. Ugin, I mean, this is the nut draw. We go 1-drop into 3-drop into Nissa into Ugin. That is pretty much just a hand that nobody can beat. I have not lost if the hand goes 1, 2, 3, Nissa, Ugin. It just doesn't happen. Pretty impossible to lose. We have Karn the Great Creator, which is obviously just indicative of a card or an artifact sideboard. So if we go into our sideboard, our best of 1 strategies are pretty limited. We're trying to grab Grafdigger's Cage for any graveyard decks. We're trying to grab Pithing Needle for any planeswalkers that we have a problem with. Cosmos Elixir, usually against aggro, but sometimes against control if they're running us out. Helm of the Host facilitates different combos with the next 2 cards, God Pharaoh Statue, which causes our opponent to have to pay 2 more for any spells they cast, and pings them at the end of turn, so pretty good tax effect just for 6. A good line of play if we are not hitting a 5-drop on turn 3 is getting a Karn, tutoring up a 1-mana artifact that is necessary, or just tutoring up a God Pharaoh statue for the next turn when we hit 6 mana, and then we just play this, and then the rest of the game, if the opponent can't remove it, it just makes our lives so much easier. Meteor Golem, easy, 7 mana, blows up a permanent, but Helm of the Host can make it so you're blowing up a permanent every single turn and making a 3/3 with haste, or if you activate Karn and turn God Pharaoh statue into an artifact creature, you can make Helm of the Host make a token of that, and you can also do that with Great Henge or any of the other things really if you want. The cool thing about Helm of the Host is that it makes legendary things not legendary, so, you can just have multiple God Pharaoh statues out, and we can end up taxing our opponent for 4, 6, 8, and pinging them for 2, 3, 4 damage every single turn, which can close out the game pretty fast, or just make them scoop from frustration. In terms of best of 3, Tormod's Crypt is better because if we can only get access to 4 mana when we need graveyard removal, we just tutor up Tormod's Crypt, play it for 0, and do that. Shadow Spear, good against aggro, and mono red, all those kind of things. 3 heroic interventions that have nothing to do with the Karn plan, but it's just something that we'll bring in against decks with a heavy amount of removal. Asika's Chariot, pretty good against aggro. Also something that's fun to copy with Helm of the Host because it will enter the battlefield and it will make more tokens, and then you can make tokens of the Asika's Chariots that aren't legendary with the Asika's Chariot. It's pretty interesting. Solemn Simulacrum, something to grab if we are stuck on 4 mana and we don't think that we're going to get to 5 mana anytime soon. We can play the Solemn, get a land, and then just block and draw a card. It's not that bad. And then an additional God Pharaoh statue just in case one gets removed. So that's the Karn sideboard plan. And that is all of the cards that aren't lands. As far as lands go, it's actually pretty diverse. Boseiju, just too good not to run. Lair of the Hydra, also very good. That's something interesting with Nissa, Who Shakes the World. If you animate Lair of the Hydra with Nissa and put 3+1/+1 counters on it, and then you use all of your forests to pump it up, it will get even bigger. And because it has vigilance when it's attacking, you can actually wait to activate it when it's attacking and then make it even bigger with its own mana. So that's interesting. 1 Field of Ruin just because it's necessary. We still have 2 Boseiju, so I don't want to run too many colorless lands because we're also running Karn's Bastion, which will proliferate all of the counters that we put on things from Term Timber Symbiosis and from Nissa, and it will proliferate all of our Planeswalkers. And then we have Scavenger Grounds just to have at least one tool against graveyards in the main board, even though Karn can go grab tools from the sideboard pretty easily. So that is Explorer Tron. As you can see, we're in Diamond, even though the season just reset a couple days ago. We got shot back to Rare. It's not called Rare, it's called Gold. We got shot back to Gold, and we are already back up in Diamond. This deck is pretty impressive, I will say. So we're just going to run through a couple games, and hopefully I can showcase how impressive it is, and it doesn't just, take a shit and make this entire video worthless. We'll just give it a shot. By the way, how's everyone enjoying the super long wait times and the super long finding files times? And, sometimes you try to enter a game at all and it doesn't let you select game modes, or... Fuck, I had a really funny bug where everything would work perfectly. Like I could go into the card searcher and select CMC and color, and this is a good hand. CMC, color, all those things, but the second that I typed anything into the card search bar, like if I was looking for a specific keyword or something like that, it would just crash the game. So deck building kind of took a back seat for a little while, which was fun. It's really fun. Magic's a great game. Arena's a great client. Virtuoso. Ooh, Cararoso. Wish we had a 3-drop here, but we don't. Hopefully they don't kill one of our mana dorks and we can just drop a Gargaroth or the Nissa. The Nissa might be better just to run out Ugin as fast as possible. I know we might be in danger of dying, but this is I think our only avenue to victory here is to Ugin. Virtuoso is such a strong deck, and they could already have a trample effect in hand anyway. So blocking with the Llanowar Elves would just cripple us more than it helps us. Unless we just die here, then I'll be sad. If they have another Titan strength, actually, that is lethal, they'll at least have it at 8, which is 16, and then this will be at 3, 19. Yep, there it is. Ha ha ha. Great. I'm learning from that deck that you always block the Virtuoso no matter what, but I don't know what we would have done there when we had. Not quite something you could really plan for. If we would have had like a 3-drop Llanowar Visionary or something like that, something to, I don't know, interrupt their next turn while also ramping us a little bit or getting us closer to our Nissa, we would have blocked with one of those elves. But I don't feel bad about losing to Virtuoso. It's a good deck. This hand can get us to a turn 4 Nissa. And hopefully we draw just like a 3-drop. Hey, look at that. So that is set up for turn 3 Nissa if this Visionary lives. It does. And then we'll hit the Bond of Flourishing to grab another permanent for next turn. Karn, great. He is great. Great creator. Dryad, extra land. Coolio. Play Karn. Tutor up the Godpharaoh statue. Untap a forest. Swing for 6. You take 3. Play Godpharaoh statue. We play another Llanowar Elves. There's Ugin. We'll tutor with Karn first. How much mana do we have that isn't lands? 5, 6, 7. Yep. We'll grab the Meteor Golem. There it is. Yeah, so what turn was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also cultivated, so turn, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was, something that happens with this deck, you can kind of just stream of consciousness your turns once you have Nissa out. Yeah, so that just goes turn 3 Nissa into turn 4 Karn, Tutor, and Godpharaoh statue into turn 5 Meteor Golem, Ren and 7. And then you can see why a turn 3 Nissa feels unbeatable just a little bit. Because we also could have played Ugin there. We could have just ran out Ugin, wiped the board, swung with our lands that are colorless so they don't get struck by Ugin. As long as we don't have to -5 with Ugin to get rid of something problematic, then we're fine, because Karn can't get hit by any of his negative abilities. As long as we're not hitting our own Nissa and our own Ren and 7, then we're perfectly okay. All of our lands can't get hit by it. So we're just eliminating mana dorks that we don't need anymore anyway because we have Nissa. Just another way to make Magic less fun for our opponents, you know, in the world of endless bugs and horrible alchemy choices and horrible economy choices. Gotta find ways to have fun in Magic while your opponent has none, right? I think I'm going to keep this hand as an experiment. We'll try to just turn 2 Bond of Flourishing, turn 3 Cultivate, turn 4 Nissa, and see how it goes. Funny enough, the opponent does go first, so we could draw a 1-mana Mana Dork, which would make this a golden hand. We'd rather have Karn than Wrenn and 7, but still. Or Ugin. You like that Cultivate art? You'd be amazed how much a single plant has to teach you. The fucking Pothead Lizette, the Witherbloom Dean. Do you think that school of Strixhaven was just constantly high the entire time? They're just botanists, so they're growing, you know, mushrooms and, and weed. Oh, we don't really need the Llanowar Elves anymore. Affinity is a pretty new deck, which I'm actually fond of being in the format. I've tried to make Affinity before. There's actually a video up of Blue-White Affinity back when I think Steel Overseer got released for the first time in a while. But now we have Ensoul Artifact, so I don't think... Yeah, great. Speak of the devil. I don't think people are even running Steel Overseer in their Affinity decks, which is hilarious to me because when I was just getting into Magic and I found Affinity for the first time at my LGS, Steel Overseer was like the thing that I always targeted because I was like, it makes everything big? That's insane! It's a 2-mana 1/1 that makes everything big and you have to wait a turn to do it? It's so good! And now we're at this point in Magic. Okay, so we have a free Nissa here. We don't have anything else to do, which is kind of sad. We're gonna have to block with it. With this land, I mean. I mean, we don't have to. We have another one, but it would be better to. Portable Hole is non-land permanent, my friend. Haha, get got. So now I'm scared of Gingerbrute getting an Ensoul Artifact on it. They might just go face, and if they do... Okay, we still block here. Because now we have access to 10 mana at least. Yeah, so because we have access to 10 mana... 8, 9, 10, 11. That's indestructible, which sucks. We can't hit that with Meteor Golem. Otherwise, we could just tutor up Meteor Golem. Playing Karn will make it so they can't activate this for mana, activate this to do this, or, you know, they can't activate any other Planeswalker or any other artifact spells, which is pretty good. So we'll just run that out. Go grab something that feels good. They're really low on land, so Godpharaoh Statue might be the most beneficial. Untap one of these forests. We only have 5 lands, so Wrenn and 7 only becomes a 5/5, making Darksteel Citadel still good for them. We can play Elder Gargaroth to block, draw cards, make tokens, and then that also doesn't tap us out. Because now we do really want to keep Karn alive. We're less scared of Gingerbrute getting an Ensoul Artifact now because Karn keeps it from keeping itself unblockable. And, funny enough, this is only able to be blocked by creatures with haste. The lands that Nissa makes have haste. So, pretty okay matchup against Affinity. Just depends on who gets out faster. Looks like my opponent and I both got off to a little bit of a slow start, but now we're both rolling. Yep, so all the glitter's on the Gingerbrute. but I can still block it with the... I mean, I can still block it with anything, really. Yeah, we will take that block. Losing Forest hurts a little bit, but not that bad. And actually... We're just going to run out the God Pharaoh statue. And then we're going to go grab the Meteor Golem for later. And actually untap the Scavenger Grounds, just so we're not losing more lands than we need to. More forests, I should say. They could swing out into Karn, or Nissa, doesn't matter, and lose their Ingenious Smith. Honestly, doing that would not be too bad. Oh, well now they can just do it for free, basically. Or go face. This is that's a scary Ingenious Smith. They go all out at Nissa. So if we keep Nissa alive, we're getting our Meteor Golem. We're getting another land. We can grab a token off this Gargaroth for another blocker. It's getting sketchy though. Oh, Ugin. I mean, that just fixes all the problems, right? Like now we just Ugin and -2 and their whole board goes away. Like not their whole board, but everything that makes their board important. Casual 6/6. Yeah, now what do you target, opponent? Hey, okay, that's actually not a bad draw. So they can kill one of our Planeswalkers. Yep, kills the Nissa. We do just have lethal on board though. Good game. Here's Ugin doing what Ugin does. What Ugin has always done. In Modern, people don't really play Ugin as much as I used to. I used to run more Ugin than Karn Liberated, just because Karn Liberated was nasty expensive when I made Tron. But Ugin was not as expensive, and I also opened him in a couple packs, so it was better for me to build my deck around trying to get to Ugin instead of Karn. And then I also built Trading Post Tron, if you guys ever watched MTG Goldfish back in the day, when he was not that famous and there was no face cam and it was pretty bad quality and all of that. He did a budget magic Trading Post Tron where you run Trading Post with Spine of Isha, which was like a Meteor Golem that's not a creature but also returns to your hand once it hits the graveyard. So you would use Trading Post to sacrifice Spine of Isha after you played it to draw a card and get it back to your hand, so you could just keep recasting it over and over. That was a fun deck, because you could also use Sundering Titan to make it kind of like a land destruction Tron deck, which is 2 annoying decks in one. Something I love. Alright, great hand. Okay, we're going to start with an Elvish Mystic. Hopefully it doesn't die. We'll gear up for a Cultivate on turn 2 and an Nissa on turn 3. Does not die. Lotus Cobra's still scary though. They are ramping. We are also ramping, but they are ramping. I hope that's not a counter. It's not. Very cool. Very pog. Swing into this. Nothing. Cool, cool, cool. Don't think they can kill Nissa, so we'll do the Bond of Flourishing. Grab the Ugin. And now we're set up to Ugin away their board next turn. No matter what they play. Yeah, they have no response, so. And they scoop. And that is the nut draw, right there. That's the nut draw. Started with 2 lands and an Elvish Mystic. Land Mystic, land Cultivate, land Nissa, land Ugin. Well, land Nissa, Bond of Flourishing, land Ugin. And you just can't do anything. This deck really does stumble when you can't get to 3 mana at least by turn 3. If you get your mana dork sniped, that's always a bad feeling. But if you get your mana dork sniped and then you can't cultivate on turn 3, or you can't at least Llanowar Visionary on turn 3, you are so far behind, and people then have threats that Nissa can't really fight against as profitably. Like, you can throw lands in front of things like we did with Affinity, but this hand's okay. There's no Nissa. We're going turn 1 Elvish Mystic, turn 2 double Llanowar, turn 3 Karn something. I guess that works for me. Oh, love it. The audio just cut out. And the frame rate keeps dipping. God, don't you guys love Magic? Don't you guys love Arena? Okay, you play an Aspirant. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nissa. Tap this. Untap this. Play Karn. Tutor up the God Pharaoh statue. And pass. Yay, Nissa. Redain! Oh, that's a spicy little bastard. Kills Karn. Can we still play this God Pharaoh statue? If we... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, we can. Could also play this red and 7 to try to grab more lands, but I think God Pharaoh statue is probably just better. So we will go swinging first, because we're going to have to tap this land anyway. Or you know what? If we fully tap out all of our creatures, they won't have enough mana to activate Hive Tyrant. They probably won't have enough mana to play anything too big. They'll have 6 power, and they could hit Nissa down to 1. It would really, really, really suck if we lose Nissa while they have a Redain out. But we're going to take that risk. Just to get the God Pharaoh statue out, like, even if they had 1 mana combat tricks, they cost 3 now. So if they want to tap out to kill our Nissa, that's okay. Play land tapped. pump the Redain to block our lands that we can pump with. Nice, that's very helpful. So now we can actually do something kind of fun. We'll just tap this, untap it, tap 2 of these and proliferate, and then swing. Oh, didn't mean to swing with that Llanowar, but it's fine. Opponent's at 4. We have 3 4-power guys, and now they're getting ticked down every turn. Play a Brutal Cathar to hit one of the lands. Okay. Yep, pump Redain. Kill Nissa. So now we can swing with both of these and then proliferate in response to blocks. Yep. Now they're down to 2. Good game, opponent. So I think we only lost 1 game so far in half an hour. I'll be honest, these games go so fast. Oh, it was Virtuoso. Yeah, which is fine. Virtuoso is built to kill us faster than we can kill them. Like, and we could have blocked that game too, but like, double Titan strength on Virtuoso is so busted. I think that was a turn 3 kill by them, like naturally. That's pretty good. I might have to build that deck. I think Temur Battle Rage is back now too. I forgot if that got added in or not. You can bluff not having a spell to cast by quickly pressing or clicking end turn. Yeah. Another thing I'm not really a fan of on Arena is that you can kind of mess with your opponent by just hovering over their cards. Like in paper, I don't know what the equivalent of is. Maybe like, hey, can I read that? Well, let me read that real quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just seeing if, like, you know, something like that. Pretty good hand. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, maybe. We have to draw a land for the Nissa turn 3. If we do draw a land, it's kind of a nutty draw. Hey, it's Virtuoso again. There's the land. We are on the play for that, so that's pretty helpful. I have a feeling this will get pretty big. Nope, they are setting up a little more, which is fine. We now have our setup. We're gonna untap the Lair of the Hydra just so... Actually, ooh. We could just play our Elf here to block the Hoplite. Because if they go swinging at Nissa, I'm assuming they're pumping everything, and I'm like already anticipating losing this land. But now that I'm thinking about it, we only have 4, 6, 7 mana, so we can't Ugin unless we keep this land alive and Boseiju next turn, so we're just going to play the Elf. Chump the Hoplite. Oh, I'm dumb. No, we have we have Mana Dorks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the untap. 7, 8. So we could have black with that, but who cares? They kill the land anyway. And they pump it. It gets trample. And they pump it again. And then once they swing with Dreadhorde, they can pump it once again. Oh, okay. Alright. So what's going on the hoplite here? Another favored. Alright, so that's unfortunate. We do lose our Nissa. We have another Nissa to play, which makes it just a bit better. And again, we'll untap the non-forest land so that if we do lose it, it's not the end of the world. I don't know how much they want to... Oh god. Keep spending all their attacks to kill Nissa. Wow, that's big. Damn, this deck has a lot of threats. If their one-drop slot is only favored Hoplite Clever Lumimancer, that's fine, but I can also see them running the other Pyromancer like they did in the last game. The one that gives negative counters for burn spells. So the Dreadhorde Arcanist probably Reckless Rages on a land. Oh, what are they doing here? Okay, they are going after Nissa. This Reckless Rage, yep, hits our land. We might be losing this one. It looks like we're losing this one. Nissa's gone again. We lost yet another land. And we can't trade with anything. I think we lost this one. That is a hard matchup for us, it looks like. So keep that in mind if you're ever going to run Mono Green Tron. It looks like Virtuoso, Lumimancer, Hoplite, Heroic is a pretty tough matchup. We don't have the spot removal to deal with it like white and black do, or red. Because, I mean, what does that deck do against a deck that's like overloaded with Fatal Pushes or Shocks? Like in the mirror matchup, what do you even bring in? You get you get God's Willing in that deck, and a couple other like protection from color spells, maybe some indestructible spells. So I guess that works. There's the one that gives like a non-human and a human indestructible and a power boost, so that's probably a good card for that. I'll have to build that deck. Looks fun. Also, you know, showcasing a new card from the Explorer anthology, kind of. Ooh, bad hand. Mulligan. Weird hand. Still keep it. Put down one of these Mystics, because we definitely don't need 3 of them. If we lose 1 to Turn 1 removal, we have the second. If we don't, then we Visionary. Yay! Looks like some kind of mirror, probably elves. Hello, honey. Honey, I'm home. Okay, it's like elf aggro. Probably, or just mono green. Is there any target for Boseiju in mono green? The manland. So we're going to use the Serpentine Wood instead of Boseiju, and we will not untap a forest because we probably block here. You know, if they only swing with Steel Leaf, then maybe we don't block. I don't... Okay, there's Coco. Lord would suck. No Lord. I'm gonna say no blocks from us. God, another Karn. That's not really what we want to see. What we really want is an Ugin. Grabbing... I guess Pithing Needle the Ronas is kind of okay. Getting the God Pharaoh statue to keep them off Coco or the rest of their big stuff is pretty good. So we're just going to do that. We'll untap a forest here. We'll play another elf. Galta. Ugin does not save us from a Galta. Ghost face. Did we kill the Steel Leaf? I mean, this Galta's gonna smack us really hard no matter what. And honestly, not blocking the Ronas makes the Galta lethal. I mean, Ronas itself will make Galta lethal with the trample anyway. We're losing so much mana when we do this. We're doing it this way. They block the turn timber first. Oh, they're giving it plus. Oh, they're giving me that +2. Yep, sure. We're probably dead anyway, but we'll fight it out. Draw forest, which is more mana, I suppose. We could get the meteor golem here, actually. 1, 2. Meteor golem the Galta. They can give Yorvo trample, but we still have... I don't know, what do we still have? We don't have Pithing Needle. If we just tutored up Pithing Needle to hit the Ronas, actually, that would have been fine. The first time, not the second time. Meteor Golem is the only way that we survive that Galta. If we play Boseiju, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we can play the Karn, but we can't go play the Pithing Needle from our sideboard. Coco anyway. Okay, that's cool. It pumps Yorvo a lot, but now they can't give it trample with Ronas. So we kind of can just get into a little chump mode here. Yeah. So our lands, we will only have 4, 5, 6. Ugh. I want to get into the position where we can start hitting Meteor Golem with Helm, but I don't think we're ever going to be in that position. Can't attack or block unless you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So if we can get rid of that Yorvo, we can also get rid of the Ronas. So now Ugin does solve all our problems if we just find Ugin. Lovestruck Beast will make it so they have something to attack with Ronas anyway. Oh my god, another land. So... Godpharaoh statue? Plus on Godpharaoh statue? Play... Oh, yeah, play Karn. Actually, wait. This is kind of tough. The problem is, once we play Karn, get Pithing Needle, we only have... Is this playable or castable? Oh. We'd have to tap out to get Pithing Needle and play it. Is the issue. But the other issue is they can just pump their dorks here. I mean, we have to do it this way, I think. I don't think we survive. We're fighting to the bitter end. Oh god, they play that with with the tax too. That's kind of nutty. So we can give Yorvo his trample. We chump and kill. Gives him +2 in trample. So 2 will go over us, which I'm not super happy about. Or we could just block with this and it wouldn't do anything. He can kill 2 lands though. Block it like that. We'll take 2. Yep. And then in response, we'll both sage you this Great Henge. In combat, if they activated Great Henge to get the 2 mana and then got their untapped land, they could Lovestruck Beast once this God Pharaoh statue's dead, but in combat they can't use that mana anyway. So now Ronos can't attack. We can go tutor again with Karn if we want. We could also turn Timber for a creature, which doesn't seem worth it at all. I think we need the lands, actually. If we get our own Great Henge, it costs 6. And we don't get any creatures, really, but we do get 2 life every turn, but Cosmos Elixir does the same thing. We're going to play this for a land. We're going to play this for the life gain. We're going to plus on the turn Timber Symbiosis. We don't need the Karn right now. We're going to swing out. They will have Ronos again, so blocking with turn Timber Symbiosis is kind of a must. And now this keeps us out of dying from Llanowar Elf. God damn, dude. This deck is nutty. So we have to jump with turn Timber. Another land, that's not what we want. That honestly might put us out. So now we can like Pithing Needle Ronos, animate a land, and then we're still getting swung at by 3 5/5s. We go up to 6 or 2/5 power and 1/6. Huh. But if they know what to do and they swing out, then we still lose. If we get the Great Henge, we have to tap out to play it, so that kills us. Even getting the Pithing Needle makes us tap another land to play it, which means we can't block 2. I think they got us here, which really sucks. This was getting Grafdigger's Cage for the Coco might have been a good idea as well. Pretty sure that's a good game for them. We go up to 6. If we Pithing Needle, we can only block 2 creatures, and then we lose to just getting attacked by these Llanowar Elves. So we're going to do this and then just see if they misplay. How do you spell Ronos? R-H-O. And that one is the Indomitable. I don't want to have a board Barigmos moment. No attacks. See what they do. Swing out. Yep, good game. Alright, well, we're approaching 50 minutes on this video. I think this was probably a good showcase of what the deck can do and why it is certainly powerful but not broken. The turns where you're going... Hold on, let's go take a look. The turns where you are going 1 mana Dork into Cultivate into Nissa seem really, really, really strong when you're playing against them. If you're only hitting like a Gargaroth or a Renin 7, it's a lot more manageable, but Nissa making a land a creature that has haste and vigilance and taps for 2, so you can follow it up with another Mana Dork or a Bond of Flourishing if you don't have any worries about it getting attacked. It makes it a pretty powerful deck. Ugin being in there, I think, is probably a big case for its success. being in mono green, you don't have any board wipes. You don't have any ways to kind of just say no to whatever your opponent's doing. So Ugin is the best way to say no. He's the king of saying no. And Karn, to a lesser extent, says no to artifacts, and then once he goes and gets more things that also say no, it's pretty cool. Somebody told me a while ago that Tron in Modern was a control deck and not too much of anything else. It's not really a combo, even though you're comboing the 3 lands to get 7 mana, and it's not really like an aggro deck because you're not attacking that much unless you're playing Eldrazi Tron. And I kind of agree with that, so making this deck, I had the same thought. You know, Karn having attacks on things, Ugin just board wiping things and keeping smaller creatures in check all the time. Trying to just keep blockers above attackers is a big part. Elder Gargaroth, same thing, just having your blockers be more profitable than their attackers, and, you know, finding ways to hard lock your opponent. Like, there was a game there where the opponent scooped earlier than we could have done it, but we definitely could have gotten Helm of the Host attached to God Pharaoh's statue at one point and just made it so their spells cost so much that they can't play anything and hard lock them out of the game. Funny enough, though, even though we love Boseiju so much, it also is one of our worst nightmares, especially when we're playing with Karn. If we're animating things, any of the non-basic lands, like we only have 10 forests in the deck, which we could also fix. We could probably actually take out the Scavenger Grounds because Karn is already a reliable enough source for Graveyard Hate, so, you know, maybe we just do that right now. Field of Ruin, we already have Boseiju, but I still like just having the one Field of Ruin in there. I think that's probably fair. But, you know, all of our non-basic lands sometimes get animated. Sometimes we purposely animate a Turn Timber Symbiosis so that a forest doesn't die in combat, but then again, that can just get hit by a Boseiju, and anything that we tutor up with Karn can just get hit by Boseiju. So if we're putting too much stock into that, we can always just die by the same plans that we are trying to enact on our opponent. But, you know, you have 8 Llanowar Elves in the deck now, which just makes it really, really, really consistent to have your curve line up to 5 mana on turn 3. So if you wanted to build a deck like this that wasn't quite Tron-y, like you're not going to run your Karns, you're not going to run your Ugins, you want it to be just more of an aggro deck, it's really easy to just make a curve that jumps 1 to 3 to 5. And if you run Nissa, you can jump that 5 all the way up to 8. You can jump it up to 10. It's really fun. Like, we could run Ulamog. We could run like a 1 of Ulamog instead of 4 Ugins or 4 Ren and 7s. Like, I think we have an Ulamog. Actually, that bug I talked about earlier, really worried that... oh, there it is. Alright, yeah, see, now we have an Ulamog, just cuz. And, you know, what if we run up against Mill and oh no, that's not. That's the other ones. But, you know, it's kind of Tron in a certain way. It's trying to get up to a high mana cost very fast, and it's trying to overwhelm the opponent rather than tempo them out, I would say. So I think that's going to be it for me. If you guys are interested in more of my videos, I have a couple up, and I don't really do videos that much. I'm pretty active on Reddit. I make a lot of custom cards, and sometimes I just talk about Magic on the subreddits there. If you want to check out u/crazylogic22, I think that's probably where I'll be uploading this video anyway, because nobody will watch it if I don't. So thank you for listening to my hour-long rambling of Magic the Gathering, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.